Representative Bagat.
President voting.
Representative Brown.
President voting.
Representative Suvak. Representative Suvak. Representative Williams.
President voting.
Representative Villano. Representative In. Representative Tabachnik. Representative Owaputi. Representative Arumagasamy. Representative Smith.
President voting.
Representative Lee, as in Stephen. Representative Falkenberg isn't here. Representative Law. Representative Hoffman. Representative Lupton.
President voting.
Representative Cummins. Representative Thompson. Representative Chu. Representative Schillo. Representative Beckett. I know I saw you. Okay. Representative Fernandez. Representative Dooner. Representative Hale. Representative Trong. Representative Ionity. Representative Lendell. Representative Irick. Representative Park. Representative Lee, as in Yiwan. Representative McKee. Representative Schloff. Representative Gallo.
President voting.
Representative Sabe. Representative DeBaz. Representative Fitch. Representative Singh. Representative Cruz. Representative Grialis is no longer, yeah. Representative, no. Sorry about that. Speaker Pulaski.
Present.
Parliamentarian Brubaker. Treasurer Shah. Treasurer Moser.
Present.
Vice President Maloney. Vice President Dorbeck. Vice President Hamilton. Whatever.
President voting.
Vice President Downey.
President voting.
Vice President Agarwal.
Present voting.
President Nguyen.
President voting.
Do we have any guests with us tonight? If you could stand and identify yourselves.
Say Shaft is over.
And also the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, we'll start off tonight with board reports. President Nguyen.
I only have one major item on my board report, and that is the inauguration, scheduled for April 21st at 5:30 p.m. in the Twing Ballroom. So all of you, please mark that in your calendar. I will have more information as the time gets closer, but I will be needing a couple volunteers to help either greet the guests and do other things for the closing and whatnot. So it should be a great ceremony. It is to honor your work for this year, as well as welcome the new group of the USG 21st General Assembly. So other than that, campaigning has started. I'm sure Keith will be giving you guys an elections update or something soon. So other than that, good luck to all the candidates who are running. For those of you who are in this room who are rerunning for next semester or next year, best of luck. And if you ever need any advice or suggestions or whatnot, I am always open. Just call me, email me, talk to me, etc. That's all. Open to points.
Points for President Nguyen. Okay, seeing none. Vice President Agarwal.
Hello everyone. For the Student Life Committee this week, Associate VP of Student Affairs, VP Nicole Schinderwolf, will be coming to our committee meeting, and we're going to assist her with in the creation of the coming of age birthday cards. If you are 21 years old, you might have gotten this card from the university. It usually comes with like a gift card or a voucher to some nice restaurant in the area. And so the Student Life Committee is very, very important in this because we actually choose the quotes that go on those cards. So I did send an email to my committee, little small homework I had for you guys, just to find 2 or 3, just a reminder to find 2 or 3 inspirational quotes that are also diverse, so representing, that are said by a diverse group of people. And we will be matching them. She will bring pictures to the meeting. There are pictures that, she told me that there are many submissions. They're from students or faculty about pictures in the University Circle area, the case area. So we're gonna be matching our quotes with her pictures, and I think that'd be a lot of fun. So don't forget the quotes, that's all I'm gonna say. And I'm open to points.
Points for Vice President Agarwal. Okay, seeing none, Vice President Downey.
While we switch, please grab some cookies. So most of everything is in my board report. You can read it in the agendas, but just want to bring attention to the SLIG. Please keep PRing it, tell people about it. $10,000 for student life initiatives. They do not have to be for the whole amount. They can be for smaller chunks of it. That's actually what I'm kind of thinking is going to happen anyway. But just tell your friends, because I know a couple people came up to me and told me that they thought it had to be for the whole $10,000. It does not. But those are due April 1st. I'm also looking for several USG members who want to be on the approval committee. The only requisites for the job are you or a group that you are an officer in cannot submit a application for the SLIG if you are on the approval committee because of conflict of interest. So if you're interested, just see me after the meeting tonight. Open to points.
Vice President Dorbeck.
What submissions have you gotten so far, can you say?
Actually, I have not gotten any. That's why I'm trying to keep PRing it.
Okay.
I know I've talked to 3 student groups that are trying to get some ready, but after spring break, they didn't have time. One's for an improvement on the audio equipment. One I know is looking for, well, actually, I don't want to go into any other ones, but I know there's at least 3 that are thinking about it. But I'd love to see 100 submissions. So,
have you thought about contacting, like sending out an email to all student orgs personally?
I have.
Like, okay. I
have. Are there points for Vice President Downey? Okay, seeing none, Treasurer Tip of the Week.
Pseudoephedrine is a really awesome decongestant. That's my very favorite one. And a fun fact about it, in Oregon, you have to have a doctor's prescription for it to actually get it. You can't just you can't just go to the pharmacist. So whenever I go home, for a long time, I stock up on pseudoephedrine here.
Open the points.
Okay, seeing no points, Vice President Hamilton. Fun fact, when I worked in a pharmacy, I was trained in the Combat Methamphetamine Act. So if you have any questions about pseudoephedrine, you can ask me. Take an online test.
Sorry everyone for my casual dress. It's been a busy day. I guess some things I've forgotten to put on my board report are that the midterm study break before spring break was very successful. Over the course of the 2 days, we were able to get 35 nominations for the Undergraduate Teaching Excellence Awards, as well as 90 responses for the survey we had. We had an option where you could do either, or if you wanted to do both. The only food that's left over are the custom order fortune cookies. They're in the office, so I implore all of you to eat fortune cookies, breakfast, lunch, and dinner over the next, the rest of the semester to use them up. I think they stay relatively good. So, what else is coming up? Oh, tomorrow Mintry and I will be attending this meeting about the course evaluations. So if you have any input on the course evaluations, just shoot me or Mintry an email if there's something of great concern to you. And then finally, on April 12th at 5:30, that's a Tuesday, we will be holding the Undergraduate Teaching Excellence Award Ceremony, where we'll be handing out 6 awards to undergraduate faculty. So mark your calendars, please be prepared. Thank you very much. I'm open to points.
Points for Vice President Hamilton.
Thanks.
Seeing none, Vice President Dorbeck.
Hi, everybody. There is a change to the board report in that next Tuesday we are planning on having IM indoor soccer, but due to the presidential debate, we will not be able to participate, but in IM mini golf is on March 30th, so we hope y'all are excited about that. If I could get a raise of hands who might be interested in playing mini golf on the 30th, it'd probably be in the evening. Okay. All right, we have enough people, yay, okay. So now I've turned my attention to Relay for Life. Our Relay for Life Pizza Night, which is a fundraiser only in USG at GA, is moved to March 29th, which is 2 weeks from today, due to, again, the presidential debate. You'll be getting an email from Keith asking you if you want to participate and pay $10 for a Pizza BOGO pizza, and we'll have a menu so you can choose what you'd like. And then I'm also going to ask all of you who are interested in participating in Relay to sign up. I'll be sending out an email after GA with the directions to sign up on the American Cancer Society website, and it'll have the team for USG. So I encourage you to sign up. And then also the Celebrity Bake Sale will be April 1st. I already got a lot of responses from celebrities who are willing to bake, and I will be sending out a Google Doc to ask you guys to sign up to work the event if you are willing to. It's an all-day event. Remember, it's from 10 to 3, and we only need a few people to sell raffle tickets each hour, and we'll be working with Student Leadership Journey Council. So I know that's a lot, but you'll be hearing more from me later after the meeting. I am open to points.
Vice President Maloney?
Would you be able to tell us any of the celebrities who have signed up to bake, or is that secret right now?
Oh, it's not secret. I have a couple that I wrote down. Glenn Nichols, Dr. Shree, Mike Kenny, or Professor Kenny, Professor Thibodeau, did I pronounce that correctly? I think it's in physics. And then Colleen will be also participating, and Suzanne, and several others, and so will Gary.
Excellent. Parliamentarian Brubaker?
Happy birthday, Vice President Dorbeck.
Oh, thank you.
Let's sing.
Oh no, none of your.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Alana. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you very much. It is now time for Laura to do representative spotlights.
All right, so I'm a little hungry, so I might just do one instead of two. Let's see, our first person tonight, guilty pleasure is tripping people when they least expect it. New best friend right there. Doug.
Treasurer Moser.
Nope. Colin.
Representative Cummins.
Nope. All right, least favorite letter of the alphabet is K.
Ooh.
Keith.
It's gotta be Colin Williams.
Nope. Let's see. Biggest pet peeve. Does not like to stop on the cracks or lines on the sidewalk or ground. Colin. Nope. Favorite movie is Inception. If this person were a cartoon character, they would be Johnny Bravo.
What's that?
Alicia. Nope. Kevin.
Representative Schiller.
Nope. Gary.
Representative Lindell.
Nope. Keith.
VP Hamilton.
Nope.
Maybe we need more clues. You thought it was you?
Weirdest animal this person has touched is your mom. Skylar.
Representative Smith.
Nope. Doug.
Is this you?
Yes. No. Gary.
Representative Hale.
Nope.
Can we have more clues?
All right, this person is a MEC-E and business management major. Sophomore engineering caucus. Alicia. It is Matt Fernandez. Crunch Bar or Baby Ruth? I know, right? Who wouldn't want a Baby Ruth over a Crunch Bar? All right, our second person, guilty pleasure, trashy reality TV. Whoa, Colin.
Mid-treat. President wins.
Gary.
Representative Beckett.
Nope. Least favorite letter of the alphabet is Q. Allie.
Treasurer Moser?
Yes. I'm impressed.
I don't really...
Biggest pet peeve is when people don't know how to load a dishwasher, but still try. If you put a cup in right side up, it is not going to get clean. She's from Beaverton, Oregon. She's majoring in biology. If she were a cartoon character, she would be Miss Piggy.
I just knew Peggy really liked Intervention.
Doug. Allie.
I don't really like Baby Ruth, but no, I was going to say I'll give it to the person who uses the best parliamentary procedure tonight. It's like a prize. So I'll determine at the end. Okay. Any points for the Representative Spotlight crew and VP Dorbeck? Okay, seeing none, we'll move on to Vice President Maloney.
Okay, not really much to report. Working to get the letters of intent up on the website, working with Media Vision to get all the equipment that we need for the presidential debate. It's going really well so far. Should turn out to be a really fun event. And I'm going to have my committee beta test a test version of the election form on Collegiate Link this week, so that we can iron out all the bugs by the time the elections happen next week. And the computers for our voting event on Friday in Twing are reserved. That's about it. Open to points.
Points for Vice President Maloney. Okay, seeing none. Do we have an Election Commission update this evening? Okay.
Hi, GA. Okay, a couple things to report. So first question, how many candidates do we have? The letters of intent have not been posted yet. According to our bylaws, they're supposed to be up tonight. Kelly is working on them, like she said. I think what maybe we can do tonight is post just the people who are running, maybe just a list without the letters of intent. I know you've got a lot of stuff going on. Maybe we can just get that list up. And we'll get it to you guys, letters of intent up as soon as we can. So according to our bylaws, it needs to be up tonight, but that's something that we're just, it's not feasible for us to do. Okay. Actually, I just wanted to go, how many candidates we have. We have, let's start with, sorry, I was just putting these together right now. Engineering Caucus, 9 representatives running. College of Arts and Sciences, 14 spots. Nursing, 3 spots. Weatherhead, 4 spots. And now to Exec. Exec, we have 1 parliamentarian, 1 VP of Academic Affairs, 1 Vice President of Information Technologies, 2 Vice Presidents of Finance, 2 Presidents, 4 VPs of PR, and 5 VP of Student Life running. So that's our breakdown. You guys could probably notice we're a little light on College of Arts and Science and Engineering. So what we're going to do is, after the elections next year, the very first task is to fill those positions. So that's going to be how we're going to have to handle it. Any questions right now? I've got 3 other points, so let's go ahead and stop here.
If there's, I think there's about 13 spots open for College of Arts and Sciences, and we have 14 applicants. Isn't that fine then?
The College of Arts and Sciences has 14.
Yeah, colleges. The reason why it's a little shaky is a lot of people who are running for exec positions are also in the College of Arts and Sciences. So that makes it's going to be close with there. The engineering we're definitely small on. Any other questions?
maybe for IT too, as far as letters of intent, is it something that maybe you could like give to someone else to do if you're too busy? I mean, what's the delay?
Yeah, the delay is just, I think maybe you guys.
Other points? Ally, I think you had something you want
I
to
was
say?
going to say, I have website access privileges. If you can give me access to the letters of intent, I can post them.
See, the letters of intent
Okay, I'm not one
Yeah,
of those.
so there's some higher up issues here. So, James, I guess just to answer your point is it should be up today. I don't know how to address it other than it needs to be posted by Kelly. Possibly the other admin is Colin Downey, and I believe Mintry, do you have? Okay, so maybe you guys can talk after the meeting real quick. Maybe we'll get them up. If there's a way we can get it up tonight, we will. So at minimum, there's going to be a list of people who are running. So you guys can take a look at that. Okay, any other questions there? I've got 3 other agenda items.
Representative Cruz.
Point of inquiry. How many positions are there for each caucus?
The next point, GA decides that. There's some guidelines, but we're going to talk about that in a second. That's a good question. Okay. I'm going to go to the next point. I just want to talk about infractions real quick because I'm supposed to update the GA each time with infractions. There's only been one. It was just a minor infraction, kiosks. Somebody posted the same flyer on each side of the kiosk, and that's just a policy that we have to uphold. So we sent them a warning. Okay, so that's all we have for today. The amount of people in each caucus, that's the next point of discussion. And what we do is in the bylaws, it's 1 rep for each 100 students. And that's according to the current statistics of this semester. And this semester, there's 3,810, which will round up to a 39, I'm going to round it up to 39 representative positions. Okay? If we look at the breakdown in each school, we have a guaranteed, College of Arts and Sciences are going to be 13, no matter what. Engineering are going to be 11, no matter what. And then nursing and management both have 2, no matter what. And the reason why I'm bringing it to GA, this question, is there's 1 spot remaining. We can give 3 nursing, 2 management, 2 nursing, 3 management, or, I mean, to stay consistent with the bylaws, that's my stance, is that we shouldn't have 3 nursing, 3 weatherhead. We could also argue that a 2-person caucus is not efficient. And we'd be able to, I talked with the commission, and we'd be comfortable going to 3 and 3 as well. But my stance, the reason why I wanted to bring it up to GA, is I think it should be 3 management, 2 nursing. And that's based on statistics. But I just wanted to bring it up to GA. What is your, we'll have maybe just a couple minute open forum on just, you know, what your thoughts are. So really, do you want 3 or 3, or 3 and 2 with 3 management, 2 nursing, or 2 nursing, 3 management?
So we'll open it up for a few minutes of discussion. Vice President Dorbeck.
I don't think 2 people is enough for a caucus because if they ever have internal events, it's really hard to program with just 2 people, having people at the event, etc. So.
Okay. Anybody differ from her?
Vice President Hamilton.
For the numbers that you sent out, I thought the nursing school had more undergraduates than the Weatherhead School of Management.
That is correct.
Okay.
So the management number is 218, nursing's 237. So if you're looking at who has a couple more students and who should we round up, so both of those would round down. So it really is it could be either one. So if you know what I'm saying? So it could go either way.
I prefer that the Weatherhead School and the nursing school both have 3. Okay. I'm trying to think. There's, in psychology, I think there's called this rule of 5 or something like this. Now, bear with me for a second because I can't quite remember it. But it's something about like the efficiency of 1 person equal, as a group grows larger, is equal to the efficiency of 5 people. Or that's when a group becomes most efficient at 5 people, and then it starts going down at that point after more than 5 people have been added. So we could have like 2 very effective caucuses, and then have, not to say anything ill about the College of Arts and Sciences or the Case School of Engineering, but slightly more efficient caucuses there as well with group sizes.
Okay. Does anybody differ? Or I just want to, let's see, nobody? Okay, so is it safe to say, I don't think we need to vote on this. Is there any dissent on doing 13 College of Arts and Sciences, 11 engineering, and then 3 and 3? Is there any dissent? Okay, that's what it's going to be for next year. Thank you.
Perhaps you could make a recommendation to include a clause in the bylaws, maybe guaranteeing a minimum size of 3 representatives for a caucus, just so we're being consistent internally, and that what people look up is what actually happens.
Sure.
So you and J Board, when we do bylaws, those don't get voted on by the student body, they get voted on by the USG, that we can add in a minimum size clause.
Sounds good. Okay.
Representative Williams? Oh, sorry.
Just a question, but how are undeclared accounted for in this?
As a overall total. So there's 3,810 total people in at Case. So yeah. Yeah. Okay. Last point. Okay, go ahead.
I don't, this is going to be embarrassing if I'm adding wrong, but 13 arts and sciences, 11 engineering is 24, plus 3 and 3 is 30.
Yep.
So then the 9 comes from where?
A freshman.
Oh, freshman.
Freshman caucus.
Okay.
So as currently in our bylaws, it's there's probably going to be some amendments to the bylaws, but it's 1 per residential hall. Okay? So there's a chance that we're going to do 3 per college, and then that would be, if we did that, it'd be then doing 3 for management, 3 nursing would check out fine, according to the bylaws as it stands. Anyway, let me jump to the last thing. Presidential debate. Kelly mentioned it. That's going to be next. Did you mention it in your? I wasn't paying attention to your board report. Okay. Sorry. No. I was prepping for this. I was just a little bit behind today. Anyway, presidential debate is going to be in the Jolly Scholar next Tuesday. So we really need everybody to be there, and it's professional attire. Okay. I think we're going to have, Mintry, we're going to have 7 p.m. We're going to actually have GA in the Jolly Scholar. Do you want to touch on that?
Yeah, so here's the thing. I was going to talk to you guys about this, but instead of having our GA next Tuesday here in the Topher room, I already talked to Media Vision about this, so we won't have Media Vision here at all, but your next GA next week will be in the Jolly Scholar. So it is expected attendance. We will be taking attendance, and I will be expecting the same amount of people who go to GA to make this a mandatory event. So that will be GA for next week. It should be fun, Jolly Scholar.
Cool.
And just as a reminder, like professional attire means you cannot show up with, I'm Allie Perlasky and I'm running for blah, blah, blah. Like that's not an appropriate venue for campaigning other than for the presidency.
Yeah, for sure.
As of now, expect it to be at 7 p.m. unless exec changes it. And exec will meet after tonight to just clarify and make sure that's going to be okay. So right now, expect it to be at 7 at Jolly Scholar.
And very classy looking.
Okay, and my last point, I know you guys are getting antsy because election's a little bit dry. My last thing that I want to ask is, for the presidential debate, we need questions. And the first poll is you guys. And the 2 people that are running, Divya and Shangbo are running, okay? That's common knowledge, so I'm allowed to say that. What I'm asking for is you guys to think of questions that we're going to propose. I don't want to talk to you, sorry, I'm just, when I see hands, it's hard for me to focus. Go ahead.
I was just going to ask,
It's just going to be a presidential debate. The structure is we're still talking about exactly how we want to put it on. So for you guys' knowledge right now, is this going to be a presidential debate? We're going to ask them questions. They're going to know some of the questions, and then there's also going to be a chance for them to be asked questions on the spot.
So the structure pretty much is going to be, there's going to be kind of mingle time at the beginning of the event, and that will be a time in which all candidates are allowed to, campaign or whatever, to come around with their material or whatnot. And then the debate itself will start after a certain time, and that's only the president's. But it is a time in which candidates are allowed to be there with campaigning, you know, hi, my name is whatever, because it's during the campaigning period.
Questions, lots of them.
Will Chamberlain be having a representative speak for him, or is he Skyping in?
He won't be Skyping in, but he's going to be there's some term, but he's going to be on a projector screen.
Okay.
Yes, he knows it's going to be pretty late. That's it. That's the best way for him to actually get out to the campus, though. Any other questions? Kelly?
This is kind of a dumb question, but will we be allowed to eat at the Jolly Scholar during the debate?
Yes.
Okay.
I just would like you guys to be respectful and not like throw food. It'd be interesting, but would appreciate that.
So what I want you guys to do right now is get your agenda and rip a little piece of paper off of your agenda. That's enough size for you to write down a question, okay? You can write your question then rip it off. I just wanted to okay, you can do whatever you want, Gary, it's fine. And you guys can do that throughout GA. I'm gonna be collecting them at the end, okay? So think about your question, really put some thought into that, and then give it to me at the end. I'll be standing by the door. Okay, any other questions before I sit down? This is dry, sorry.
You, Mintry, or President Lynn and Speaker Verlowski said something about, you know, they can wear their candidacy attire and campaign at the events, but then can our representatives campaign as well if they have to be in professional attire? Don't you think that'd be a conflict of?
I think we're going to change the clothing for the event so you guys can be professional attire.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That was kind of just me throwing that in there.
Okay.
So that's fine.
That's all.
I think we look good when we dress up. Okay, any other questions? Cool, thank you so much.
Representative Bagat?
Oh, Gary.
It's not a question, but I was just going to say that I think you and your commission have been doing a good job.
Thank you.
Okay, on to committee reports, or caucus reports, I'm sorry. Are there any caucus reports? Representative Fernandez?
All right, last meeting we changed things quite a bit. Instead of having a meet and greet event over the spring, we decided to combine that with the peer advising. We decided to create the peer advising with deans event where all the students will come in and they'll meet with just their peers, and then for second level, if the peers cannot help them out, they'll go on and talk to the deans that we actually already contacted. It's scheduled to be April 1st because April 4th, I think, is scheduling. So we're trying to reserve North 310, but it's not going to work, I don't think. So again, there's two levels. One is the student level, and then there's the dean level. And I think this will serve as a pilot to see how peer advising actually work, so we can implement that into tutor track. To points.
Points for Representative Fernandez. Seeing none, are there any other caucus reports tonight? Representative Bagat?
Arts and Science Caucus originally had discussed having our next Cookies and Comments event next Thursday, but I think we'll be pushing that back maybe a week or so, and we'll meet next week to discuss this matter.
Okay. And Representative Lendau? Granted. Other caucus reports? Representative Iannetti? Oh, sorry. You were in the same line of vision, I apologize.
The Weatherhead Caucus held its Chocolate Comments outreach event right before spring break. It's pretty successful. We had a little less attendance than we normally get at these sort of things, but we got a lot of good feedback. Most of it was actually just about like maintenance and IT issues within PBL. We got some positive feedback regarding the faculty. That was nice. So we're definitely going to bring the maintenance issues to the operations manager in PBL. open to points.
Vice President Dorbeck?
Are you going to be relaying the positive feedback to the faculty members from the students?
Well, we're hoping to meet with the dean before the end of the semester, so we'll forward it to him.
Vice President Maloney?
Are you planning to get in touch with anyone from Weatherhead ITG about the IT issues that you received feedback on?
Would you have any contact information for them?
Yeah, I can get you some contact information.
Okay, yeah, that'd be great.
Other points? Seeing none, Representative Gallo?
Okay, so freshman caucus had a meeting yesterday. Pretty much we just focused on the undergraduate graduate mixer that we'll be having next Thursday. So the 24th, it's going to be from 4:30 to 6:30 in the Twing atrium. If you guys want to come help set up beforehand, you can, or stay to clean up. Pending, we just have to get all these things, but we should be having Qdoba, so that's going to be yummy. We're also going to be having ice cream and lemonade for the food. We submitted a co-sponsorship, so we'll see how that goes. Also, next week we look forward to painting the wall. If you guys want to come out, we'll know exactly what time next week that we should be doing that around. So I'll give you an update probably next week about that, but look forward to it because it's going to be a blast. And that's about it. Points?
Representative Bagat?
I've already received notice of the event for the mixer from the psych department. Have you contacted other departments to contact their students to advertise it?
Okay.
I've been trying to get in contact with about any department I can think of, or some people that have requested a certain like major, like subcategory of a major for graduate students. I've been trying to get in contact with anyone that I can. And
so to answer your question, yes.
Other points for Representative Gallo? Okay, seeing none. Any other caucus reports? Okay, we'll move into old business. Are there any nominations for first year representative of Color House? Okay, how about Arts and Sciences representative? Secretary Mueller.
I'm going to nominate James Malloy because he's running for next year anyway.
Excellent. Any other nominations? Okay, we'll leave those open. Any other old business that we forgot about? Okay, so into new business. We've had one vacancy for first year representative for commuter students. So at this time, we can entertain a motion to open nominations for that position. Representative Bagat?
Move to introduce nominations for first year representative commuter.
Okay. Representative Cruz?
Nominate Masami Matsuyama.
Any other nominations at this time?
Can I get a spell?
M-A-S-A-M-I.
M-A-S-A-M-I.
Then M-A-T.
That's close.
Okay, any other nominations? Those will stay open until they are filled, I guess. If you have any through the week, email Parliamentarian Brubaker and Secretary Mueller, and they'll take care of notifications. At this time, we can move to introduce Bill B 20-09. Representative Williams?
So moved.
Is there a second? Okay. Is there a speaker in the pro?
Hello, everyone. Okay. So basically, each year, the parliamentarian and the judicial board go through the Constitution and the bylaws. And we try to see if anything needs to be updated, changed, improved. And so that's what you have in front of you. There are four main changes that are in this bill. The main content-based ones are Section D of Article 3, which I hope you all read through, and we'll discuss that in more detail when I'm down. The rest of them, though, are really just adding an S to treasurer, since we had two this year and it worked really well. We'd like to keep that going. And if you'll note in Section J, It moves the election of speaker from the fall semester to the spring semester. That's something we tried this year so that the speaker could be part of exec retreat, be more involved in planning for the upcoming year. I don't know, I think Allie did a great job. So I think we're going to keep doing that. I am open to points.
Points for Parliamentarian Brubaker. Okay, seeing none, or is there a speaker in the con? And you sure? It makes it more entertaining. We'll move into discussion. We're going to discuss section by section, and so we can highlight the changes that are made and kind of debate the issues as they go. Representative Thompson?
Concerned about the revised section B of Article 3. You say any commuter may run for this position. Does the university have an official definition of commuter for third, fourth? For example, I live far enough away that I have to take the bus or drive to school, but I don't live with my parents. So would I be considered a commuter?
I am not aware of that, but I know I don't know what the specific definition is, but the university does distinguish between off-campus students and commuting students. There is that distinguishment made. The intent there is that, and this will be codified more in bylaw review, but the thought is that the first-year students who are commuters are the only ones voting. The candidate pool can be a first-year commuter or an existing commuter upperclassman. It just increases their candidate pool and gives them more choices. That's all that one does.
As a point of clarification, the university does not typically distinguish people who live within a 30-mile radius of campus. It does include people who purchase homes in Little Italy, people who are living in Mayfield Heights, et cetera, et cetera. So the definition is very loose on a university level as to who is a commuter. So that is something we can discuss further. So we're going to keep going with Section D. Other points on Section D specifically so we can get the changes or suggested changes down for that one. Vice President Maloney.
I just wanted some clarification. When you say that if a position in the caucus becomes vacant, any member of the residential college where the vacancy occurs may run for the position. So if the Taft position was vacated, then anyone from Cedar and not necessarily someone from Taft could run for the vacancy?
That is correct. The initial elections will still be the same. We will still do it per residence hall in the first round. The intent is that if there's a vacancy later on, that it becomes easier to fill.
AKA if there is only one floor of people in Cutler and we can't find people who live in Cutler, just as an example. Representative Thompson?
Another concern. I think maybe the language should be more specific, so not have any arguments. You should maybe say if nominations are open for 2 weeks and nobody comes forward, then we open it, or something like that. Or when you say it is preferable, does that mean that if 2 people come forward, one is a first-year commuter and one is not, the first-year commuter automatically takes precedence over others?
Representative Lupton?
Yeah, I don't know if I completely agree with the Section D being revised. I think it should stay just commuting freshmen because all freshmen are required to be at the dorms unless they're a commuter. So we're pulling, one freshman from each of the dorms, and I think those commuter students, it's just not right for them to have to run against all the other commuters. Am I interpreting Section D right?
You are, but do you understand that only the first-year commuters are voting? It's just a larger candidate pool. I'm hearing, I guess, it seems like everyone's pretty okay with the residential college change. So I think the commuter one is what we're getting hung up on. So any more points on that?
Representative Beckett?
Sophomores also have to live on campus, correct?
That is correct.
Okay.
Secretary Mueller?
I guess I sort of have an issue with let's see, because any commuter can run, in the revised section, any commuter can run, but only first-year commuters are voting, which means that someone could be elected that isn't representing the people that voted for them, which is weird and kind of against our bylaws, I think, the election bylaws specifically.
Well, the Constitution takes precedence over the bylaws, so if this change is made, then the election bylaws will have to be revised.
Vice President Downey?
I see it as kind of like they're still representing the same group of people, though, because even though they're first years, they're not having the typical first-year experience. They're commuters. And so their experience is much more in line with the other commuters than, say, a typical first-year experience. So I see it as actually representing the same group, I think. I mean, does anyone else think that, or?
Representative Williams? Okay. Other points for discussion on this? So I believe it would be most helpful if the body decides that, usually you would want to amend something if you don't agree with the way that it's written. So if people feel strongly that it should be one way or the other, I think it would be good to guide discussion in the direction of whether or not we agree with the way that it's written here as a whole. So I don't know how we feel about it. Yes. Yes. Correct. So it can be amended next week as well. We can think about it. But Representative Beckett?
I just wanted to clarify something. Is it that if the commuter position becomes vacant, then any commuter can run for it, or from the start, any commuter can run for it?
From the start.
Okay.
Okay, so seeing other points of discussion on this, we'll move on to the next revised section, which is Section J. Representative Cruz?
I actually had one quick question. If the freshman commuter were to resign and we elected an upperclassman, would that upperclassman still be considered part of the freshman caucus? All right.
With no other structural changes made to the caucus system, it would function that way. Representative Williams?
Actually, just a question about the caucus system in general. I know I kind of asked this earlier, but for the second year students who aren't declared, they technically aren't then represented by anybody in USG.
So when the undeclared constituents vote, they choose which school they are going to hopefully, declare a major in, and then they vote according to that.
Representative Fitch?
Would the commuter, if they're an upperclassman, have to be undecided or undeclared, so they could, or else they'd be part of another caucus?
I think as written, it states that it's just a commuter.
We would treat that like we would treat let's say, a declared double major, like economics, or economics is a bad example, that's arts and sciences. Hypothetically, nursing and sociology. We would treat it as though they technically are part of two constituencies, but the one they are elected to is the one they will represent.
Representative In? Granted. Okay. Any other points on Section D? Okay. So Section J. Can you explain the changes made within Section J?
I added an S to treasurer, and I changed the time of speaker elections from fall to spring.
So we'll now entertain discussion on Section J revisions. Treasurer Moser.
I was just thinking we could make this a lot shorter by just saying the secretary, treasurer, and speaker of the assembly, and then just not have it like the same sentence twice.
Are you making an amendment?
Well,
or?
someone else has to make an amendment because you're the treasurer. Representative Williams.
So amended.
Is there a second?
Friendly.
Friendly? Okay. So that will be updated for next week. Other points on Section J? Okay. We'll move on to Article 4, Section 1, or I.
Section I. S on treasurer.
Points of discussion. Representative Brown.
Move to place a period at the end.
Is that friendly?
Friendly.
Okay, other points on Section I? Okay, we'll move to Article 7, Section B. Amendments, revisions?
S.
Discussion? Representative Begat? Okay, Section G.
S and the very last word in Section G, info was changed to information.
Points of discussion. Okay, Section L.
S on treasurer.
Okay, Section M.
S on treasurer.
Okay, any other points of discussion on B, Bill B 20-09. Representative Cummins? Okay, the bill is tabled until next week. Vice President Dorbeck. Okay, is there a speaker in the pro? Vice President Downey. The most frequently seen person at the podium, I think.
So this is going to be passing the budget, our operating budget for next year. It also passes the amount of money that the Finance Committee will allocate to student organizations in mass funding coming up when we allocate the weekend of the 25th and the 26th and the 27th. And there's not a huge many of changes, but I did want to draw your attention to a couple things on the back of the page. So it's Appendix A and then turn it over. And it shows the sources of income and that kind of thing at the bottom. The estimated student activities, what I did, I took what we had last fall and multiplied it by 3.9% because our tuition increase, which is tied to the SAF. I'm waiting to hear back from Doreen Thibodeau, I think that's how you say her last name, for a hard confirmation of the actual SAF and just kind of confirmation from her. And so that might be amended next week if I hear something different, but as of right now, this is the most current information that I have. Also, the rollover, you'll see it's 27,000. That's because that includes the 12,000 that we set aside when we did the rollover from fall. And I said we wanted to give 12,000 to this mass funding. So that's why it's appearing on this specific budget, because it's the mass funding we give away in just a couple weeks, even though student organizations use it next fall. So it's a little confusing. I just want to make sure it's a little more clear. And then the other is just the $15,000, which is kind of an estimated rollover of what student organizations may not use. And then the liabilities organization accounts, 56,000. That is actually that is not SAF at all. That is all fundraised money by student organizations. It's money that they raise from bake sales, donations, whatever. And we hold it in our accounts because according to university policy, they're not allowed to have their own bank accounts. And so we are required to hold that for them, but it in no way includes any SAF money. And I don't think there's anything else too shocking. Open to points.
Representative Dorbeck, Vice President Dorbeck, I'm sorry.
I don't know if anyone else feels the same way, but I'd be interested to see what we spent on these things this year to see if there's like a need for readjusting and stuff like that.
I did that, but I can definitely show that to you next week if you want.
Okay.
Well, it's going to be tough because we're not going to have the same setup.
Okay.
Maybe I can shoot an email out to everyone so they can look at that.
All right, thank you.
Representative Thompson?
Well, I guess following on that, did the fall retreat
No, it's the exact same. And we spent everything but like $8. So I think it hits it pretty well. That's, yeah, next, yeah.
Other points for Vice President Downey. Representative Lupton?
Yeah, if I was to increase the budget from something, how could, so my question is, actually it's more of a discussion. I'll bring it up.
Okay.
Is this missing the executive retreat costs?
No, it's fall retreat.
The executive?
Oh, sorry, the executive retreat.
Oh, you're right, sorry.
Okay.
Okay, Representative Bagat?
Move to table? this
No.
bill?
Well, there's-
Sorry, we have to discuss first.
There's one more.
Representative Brown?
Nobody are for you.
What is, sorry, I didn't hear you.
What is the phone for?
That phone that we have sitting in the USG office, we actually pay for that. And it's going to be fully paid off in a couple years. Colleen, do you know exactly when it'll be paid off? We pay it off a little bit every year because it also includes the phone bill plus also paying for the phone. Because it's the same one that all the other offices use. And I know that a lot of students, actually quite a few commuters come in and use it to call home. But also we get contacted by other universities, that kind of thing. So it is used a fair amount.
Yeah.
Representative Lupton?
I guess I can ask my question. Say if I wanted to increase the finance committee capital purchase to 2,000.
Okay.
How would I move around the budget?
Oh, what would you take away?
Yeah, so what,
I guess why would you want to move it around? Like,
No,
why would
no,
you
I guess the question, somebody asked.
Are you asking if there's money that, like...
Is there money that we can move around, and where would the money come from? So if we felt something needed an extra $500, is that something that you could take away from mass funding?
We could. I generally don't like taking away from that's directly allocated to student organizations. I feel much more comfortable taking away something that's for our operating expenses.
Okay.
Especially because it's something for operating. I like moving, yeah. So, I mean, if we needed to, I mean, we can always rearrange the budget. Is there a place like right now I can think off the top of my head? No, because I try to make it to what we actually spent. But I'm sure, you can do any kind of rearranging.
Other clarification questions on the bill? Representative Williams?
This is actually a question similar to the phone question for the computer lease. Are we leasing those from the university, or who are we leasing them from?
Phone lease?
The computer lease.
Oh, that's actually through Dell. And that is a really actually pretty good cost saver, because what it does, we get new computers every couple of years. And so we're not having to deal with outdated computers and deal with all that. It's actually saving us money in the long run.
Vice President Maloney?
Doesn't Student Affairs IT manage the actual contract with Dell, though?
They do. We pay them.
Oh,
Joel, we pay Joel.
Oh, okay.
He like updates the computers for us and takes care of all that.
Yeah, we're getting a pretty good deal.
Other clarification questions on the bill? Okay, seeing none, is there a speaker in the con? Okay, we'll move into discussion on the bill. Representative Lupton?
So my real question comes from actually the Pizza Olympics budget. I've been meeting with vendors, trying to figure out a way to make it sustainable on campus and to actually get pizza. So vendors right now are comfortably donating 20 to 25 boxes of pizza. What's happening is we have about 800 people come to the event, and that pizza amount could only feed about 400 people. So really, they only have incentive to bring X amount of boxes. And my goal is also to feed as many mouths as possible. So I talked with a lot of vendors over spring break, and we worked out a deal. I didn't say that this is for sure, but I told them that there's a chance that that after the first 25 boxes of pizza, that if we subsidized at cost per large pizza for the next 25 at maybe $2 a pizza. So if you add that up that's 250 boxes of pizza times $2 to $3, that'd be an extra 750 bucks. So really, my question is, where can we get that budget internally? And if so, we could also, charge admission. I really don't want to charge students. I'd rather keep this completely free. So I don't know how I can bring in $750 more to the Pizza Olympics.
Vice President Downey?
So one way, and I want VP Dorbeck's input on this as well, the PR budget is very dependent on who is VP, how they run it. VP Dorbeck has been extremely active in what she does. Other VPs in the past have not. And so that 3,000 line item is sometimes used up, sometimes not. And so that might be one possible area, but it's very dependent on how the VP does. So like, for instance, the cowbells and all that kind of thing that we did, we don't normally do something like that. But if people take initiative and do things like that, which I think was great, there's that play. There's some of it there. Let's see here, the Welcome Back Dance and the Student Activities Fair used every cent of those 2,200. Each Student Activities Guides did as well. Other operating things. There's little bits in here, like we could trim like $100 here, $100 there, without really doing any damage, and we could probably get it that way. But if you want to meet with me after, we can go over some more in depth so we don't take up too much of the conversation time now.
Vice President Agarwal?
Just wondering, but for midterm study break, maybe a good question for Jared. Do you think you needed $750 for that?
I went big before spring break this semester. Got quality items, not quantity items. Emphasis on food that also help boost people's like brain activity, like trail mix and like nuts and stuff like that. That being said, I don't know actually how much I spent. I know I went over my $500 budget. So I mean, there might be a little money floating around there that could be shifted. I'd be comfortable with maybe like $150.
Okay, Representative Cummins.
Yeah.
Going back to the Peace Olympics thing, I know people ask co-sponsorships of us all the time. Could we ask co-sponsorships of other groups like UPB? It's still for the students, right? I mean, it doesn't have to be exclusively
Okay,
us.
I'm going to call on Representative Lupton as long as this doesn't turn into a debate over whose event is whose. So, okay.
The reason why we haven't asked for any co-sponsorships or we've even like win it elsewhere is this is USG's PR event. So asking for budget from somebody else means we maybe have some commitment to say, also thanks to UPB and stuff like that. So that is an option. If we need a budget, we could always do that because I know UPB would donate money. So if we really need money, we can get money from there. I'd rather stay away from that, and it sounds like we can stay away. So that's a good suggestion.
Okay. Representative Brown.
On a procedural note, are we allowed to request mass funding money from ourselves? So if he wanted to request Pizza Olympics money from mass
Pizza
funding,
Olympics is not a student group, Vice President Downey?
So you wouldn't request mass funding because we're not, well, I guess we are a USG recognized org, but it would be an executive co-sponsorship, just like we support our caucuses in that way. But just to kind of go with Keith, we can work this out later, and when we present it next week, if we come up with something, we'll show it. I don't think the discussion really needs to go any further, though.
Okay, any other points of discussion unrelated to Pizza Olympics? Secretary Mueller.
I think I bring this up every single time we look at a budget, but election costs look really high to me. I think with that election budget, you could probably advertise the entire election 5 times, feed all the candidates twice. I don't know. It seems high.
Vice President Downey.
So actually judging off our costs last year where we went way over budget, that's actually not high. We do mailings. We do mailings and all the paper, the copying, all that added up to over almost $800 last time. Because if you wanted to get out with newsletters that all the organizations do, I think, what is it, Media Board, UPB, all RHA, all these other ones get the same stuff in there. And to send those mailings out, it's actually pretty expensive. That's why, and we don't have the Qdoba in this one, that's why it's more expensive. So that's where a large part of the cost comes from. Also, if anybody wants one particular item they want to hear, like, or whatever, how much we actually spent this year, I've got it up right now if you guys want to ask.
Okay, Representative Thompson.
So mailings that go out the first week when you're all there, the little like flyers, the full color sheets that we send out to the freshmen.
Okay. Other points on the bill? Representative Lupton.
Move to table General Assembly Bill B.20-10.
Okay, the bill is tabled.
Can I just say one thing real quick?
Yes.
Okay. I actually just want to thank everyone for having discussion on a finance bill. Like, it's just, thank you. Like, snaps to all of you.
Extraordinarily exciting. Any other new business tonight that we forgot about? Okay, moving into open forum. Do we have the feedback report ready? Okay. President Nguyen.
Just to backpack off of Keith's thing about writing down a question, if you have not already, please do so now. Write a question about something for the candidates who are running for president, and then we'll compile them, or Keith will collect them later tonight.
Vice President Agarwal.
Just want to thank everybody for their interest in volunteering for the blood drive. Already have many, many volunteers. However, last time I checked, which was like 1 p.m. today, we still need 2 people for the last hour, 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. I realized I had some issues with Google Docs, a lot of people not having access. Please email me and I will immediately give you access so that you can sign up. But right now, only the last hour, 4 to 5, just need 2 people. Everything else, we are good to go. So thanks, guys.
Secretary Mueller.
Okay. So there's 3 things. The first one is, can club sports please have access to the athletic trainer and veal in the training rooms? We get hurt too, and it would be really nice to have access to ice and taping. The second one is, put more cigarette butt cans around the DSA, especially designated smoking area, especially near the bench in between stores and Clark Tower. Make it so that the TV screens in freshman dorms always display bus times rather than having to wait for it to reappear. And then the last one, please encourage VPs and speakers to use their podium time to field questions instead of reading their reports, blah, blah, blah. Okay.
So we'll encourage that starting next week. Vice President Dorbeck. I lied, starting the week after. Next week's in the Scholar.
Just a point of inquiry. Were those people that made those comments internal representatives, or were they people, or students?
That was decided.
Okay.
2 of them are anonymous.
I didn't.
The other one, I don't recognize.
So maybe someone's watching us on Media Vision and wants us to use the podium, which is exciting. Vice President Maloney.
Just in case someone is watching us on Media Vision, and just because Divya and I have gotten this question a few times, it's actually kind of a fun story why the next bus times on the plasma screens don't always work well. Apparently Next Bus doesn't actually want us to be putting the greenie times on Magic Screen, which is the program that runs on the plasma screens. They don't want us doing that. They would rather us buy their the expensive red LED signs that they have on the outside greenie stops. So they keep finding ways to block us from getting Magic. They keep finding ways to block Student Affairs IT from accessing the bus times with Magic Screen, and then Student Affairs IT keeps finding new ways to access the bus times. And then Next Bus keeps blocking them, and it just keeps going. So if you ever see the greenie times not working, it's probably just because we've temporarily lost our game of cat and mouse with Next Bus.
Parliamentarian Brubaker.
Are we all 4 years old?
Vice President.
Yes.
Okay. Other points for open forum. Maybe it could be a constantly refreshing screenshot of the website.
Yeah, but that would be depressing. And sad.
Representative Singh.
So I went to the greenie stop today and checked the timing, and it was like 32 and 64 minutes. And I was like, what?
Vice President Hamilton.
The cafe in the library has officially opened. As one library staff member was telling me, use it or lose it. They will close it if students do not use it. So now that we have it, we must utilize it at all costs.
Representative Thompson.
What are the outside hours?
I think it probably. Oh, really?
Yeah, it closes at
Wow.
on Friday.
No, all right.
Go look online. It's
Vice President Downey.
It will be investigated.
It's open later than that because I used it Monday night until 9. Their cafe mochas are actually better than Starbucks. In case anyone was wondering, they're really good.
Representative Schloff.
Is there anything that you could do for, or get for a meal swipe?
Jared, are there meal swipe options?
I'm not sure. I'm not on the meal plan, so I'm not really that.
Representative Fernandez. Okay. Is there case cash?
Yes, there is.
So case cash. Any other points for open forum? Vice President Downey.
Sorry, this is actually a real one. So because we have a little bit larger amount for mass funding, possibly if we pass this next budget as it's been presented, one idea that I've been thinking, and I've contacted actually Pat Kennedy about this, and I've gotten some information. I've been kind of wondering about the idea of setting aside a certain amount of money from mass funding to fund costs, set costs for student groups. So for instance, some of the athletic organizations, like ice hockey, has to reserve a rink to practice, and it's probably one of their biggest costs. crew team has to reserve a spot at the boat house. And I've got all the data if you guys want to look at it some other time. And there's quite a bit of cost. I know crew team pays more than I do for fraternity dues, which I find very surprising. And I don't like that it limits a lot of students from doing it. USG is supposed to be able to let all students participate in things regardless of what their financial situation is. And so one idea that I just want to hear some input from you guys is, what would you say if I set aside $5,000 to $10,000 to pay for set costs, where USG would directly pay for ice hockey? I mean, I'm just throwing that out as one example. So student groups would not have to pay for that.
Representative Hale?
Ask, like, how would you delineate like a casual cost versus a set cost?
So a casual cost, I would say, is something that is, it's not always something you have to pay for. So I kind of look at it in business terms as like something that's overhead, you're always going to have to pay for. So like reserving the ice hockey rink would be something you always have to pay for. Whereas food or jerseys or, you know, water bottles or whatever else is changing.
Parliamentarian Brubaker?
And I guess just off of that, absolutely love this idea. Crew team, well, I wouldn't say, okay, probably like 75% or more of our budget goes to paying for places to put our boats in the boathouse, national dues, local dues for just rowing organizational stuff. I think this is a great idea because we have lost members because of costs like this, and it would be awesome.
Representative Dooner?
I think it's a great idea. How would you apply for the cost once and then you would get that every semester, or you'd have to keep applying for it?
No, so this is why I asked Pat Kennedy for the entire budgets. I don't have just what they submit to USG. I have everything that they have, what they pay in for all their costs, what they fundraise, what they ask for. So actually we would, as finance committee, would go through and pick out the items. So they would not apply for them. Okay. And the way I'm trying to keep this fair so that all organizations can benefit is that I would try to reduce the cost down per student to a somewhat equal level. Now, we're not going to be able to do that across the board. There just isn't that much money. But I would like to make a difference with that. So,
Vice President Agarwal?
Okay, completely different topic. So some of you may be aware or not aware, there is a Facebook group that a student has started specifically for Safe Ride, about safe rides. He sort of made it a soundboard for students to kind of give their opinions, make complaints about it. And I just wanted to let you all know that I'm aware this group exists and that I am in control of situations. So if you guys see the group, please don't kind of go on there and start something. If you see something on the group or if you hear something about it around campus, or you know something else, other Safe Ride initiatives that are going on, if you could let me know about it, that'd be great. But we just don't want to, quote unquote, add fuel to the fire, if you will. So just be aware that the group exists and that USD is also aware of it.
Representative Cruz?
Going back to Colin, or VP Downey, would the money for these set fees come from a different fund? Would rolling funding be just like separated into two different sections for set things, or?
No, this would actually be totally at mass funding. We would do it once a semester. We would quote unquote fund it once a semester. And actually I would communicate more directly with Pat Kennedy on this, and it would cut it out of the budgets of the other groups. So the idea being that USG takes on the burden of some of it. And it would not be a rolling funding, because rolling funding is meant for in the semester. So it would be out of the mass funding, the $137,000 that was in the budget out of that.
Okay, we can entertain one last point for open forum. Representative Hale? Okay. Any other ones? Representative Lupton?
Directed at Colin. The one thing that how do you decide, so I know Debate Club is a big spender and they get student activity, the student activity, or what is it, what office is it? Student Affairs. Student Affairs, thanks. The Student Affairs office, they get a lot of money from them. How do you decide how much money you give to them, because they've got a huge overhead, So how do you differentiate? Well, I'm going to give you some money, but them more, but they've actually, you know what I'm trying to say? Like, I just think there's a fuzzy line there.
And this is one thing that I was kind of wondering about as well. And the way I understand it is a lot of their costs are hotels and that kind of thing, which are quote-unquote casual costs. Now, those costs do get up quite large. So what I was planning on doing was contacting Student Affairs directly, because they've actually recently cut some of the funding that they give to mock trial, UN, Model UN, debate team, and I think that's it, but there might be one or two more. And so I was going to communicate with them and see what was going on, and see if we can approach it that way. But those are more of variable costs dependent on if that group does the activities for those, whereas for like the athletic clubs, they always need these, they always are going to use them. This kind of came out of when I was looking at when student orgs weren't using all their money, the quote-unquote rollover, and I wanted to find a way that we could benefit student organizations and not be worried about the money not being spent. So this was one of those things that kind of came out of that. Does that help or not? Okay.
Any other last very pressing open forum points? Colleen?
Colin, my only advice is to be very cautious with this kind of an offer during a flush year versus a non-flush year, which would have been 2 years ago, where the rollover caught up. I suspect that that $48,000 headline that showed up in several observers ago are going to make a huge difference to the way organizations think about the money they receive. And I think it will, although it seemed like negative publicity for USG, what it in fact did, I think, was inform our student orgs that, yes, in fact, if the money's not spent, it returns to USG. So I would be very cautious, and I guess it kind of reiterates what Keith is mentioning, that, and maybe exec can spend some time on this in terms of fleshing it out. It's a consistency factor, that maybe there's this general fee for off-campus vendors or off-campus venues, you know, fees for venues, things like that. I mean, I think it should be more generic, but I'm just suggesting maybe looking at it further, but.
So just to comment back on that, the way I was thinking about, because this is a flush year, quote unquote, I was thinking about kind of just getting our feet wet, seeing where the program goes, and then when we're in more of a standard role where we have that, you know, normal 125,000, seeing what we actually need. So this year we're not as constrained, and so next year we have a lot more information. The next VP can decide how much they would need for those set costs, and decide from there from real information, which we can gather this year.
Okay, so we'll now move into our advisors report.
Welcome back.
Okay, any announcements? Representative Bagat.
Thank you, Parliamentarian Brubaker, for the baked goods today.
Representative Williams.
Tomorrow afternoon, Wednesday, about 4:30 or so, ELP groups are going to be having their final project presentations, and we'd really like to see USG out there, considering we came to you guys for help. It'll be a good time. You'll get to see a bunch of freshmen dressed up and trying to be all professional, and talking to you about things like safety and safe ride, and I can't remember what else, but it's going to be a great time. So yeah.
Vice President Downey.
Just reiteration, if anyone is interested in being on the SLIG approval committee, please see me after. The only constraints for being on the committee is you'll have to attend one, maybe two meetings that are an hour long each. So pretty simple.
Representative Lupton.
Can you give me all debate questions after this meeting? Actually, don't give them to me. Give them to Jared Hamilton. I have to leave. I have a meeting at 8:30. So just please give all these to Jared Hamilton, and he'll take care of it.
Representative Shaw. Treasurer Shaw, sorry.
Apparently there's like a red box type thing inside KSL.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Representative Singh.
This isn't so much an announcement as it is a question. Is there a way to request for a particular speaker to come and speak to GA?
You can talk to President Wynn. Representative Gallo.
Can the freshman caucus please stay like a couple minutes afterwards?
Colleen.
And and I'd like to address this terribly sorrowful apology to VP Dorback, that on March 29th, there's a dinner at Leutner. It's called Asian Fusion, and it's it's the third in a series of cultural dinners initiative between Bon Appetit and Share the Vision. So I wanted to know if maybe we could maybe push the pizza thing back one more week so that we could have a hungry group here. But just also to let you know about it over in Leutner. It's going to be really cool, great food, various Asian costuming, music, performances, etc. So that's March 29th.
Okay, announcements. Happy St. Patrick's Day on Thursday. And UPB is sponsoring Sue Johansson to come talk tomorrow night from 7 to 9, which is going to be really entertaining in Strosacker. If you don't know who she is, Google it. You'll be entertained. Representative Bagat? And there's CPK there, which is going to be really exciting. I don't know if she's bringing props. I wouldn't doubt it. She used to have a show called Talk Sex with Sue, which is highly made fun of because the questions are hilarious. So it's going to be great. She's really old. Vice President Maloney.
Just so everyone knows, I spoke to you a few weeks ago about your Google Apps accounts being transitioned to the new Google Apps system, and I've already gotten some reports of people's transitions failing because they accidentally created a regular Gmail account with their case address. So if you get an email saying that you have a conflict with your Google Apps transition, just follow the link to help.case.edu, and there's a link right in the front page that will give you instructions on how to resolve the conflict so you don't lose anything. And if you don't remember ever creating that account and don't really know what it's talking about and don't have a personal Gmail account with your case.edu address that you use, don't worry about it.
Representative Fernandez?
Motion to adjourn.
Do you have an announcement?
Yes.
Okay.
This Saturday, I believe it's the Case Cycling Club. They're hosting the Triathlon for Life. The funding will go towards Relay for Life as well. Sign up, participate. It's a good event. Motion to adjourn.
Second. Exec, please meet me up front for like 5 seconds. Thank you.